man on you. Used to say that hope is like your car keys. Easy to lose, but if you dig around, it's usually close by.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst 2010s CGI.
Excuse me, boy, where's your boss? Help me out here, where's your boss? If I was going to talk to myself, I could have just stayed in the lab.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most embarrassing special effects displays from that decade of movies. Which of these CGI mishaps made you cringe the most? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. The Genie. Aladdin. Will Smith had massive shoes to fill when it came to playing the genie, and he actually did a very good job.
I am not a giant. I am a genie. There is a difference. Giants are not real.
Unfortunately, the CGI didn't quite measure up. The movie comes to a screeching halt whenever Genie is shown because the bad CGI is so painfully distracting. The digital body and Smith's face just don't blend that well. In fact, the scenes involving the Genie often veer into the uncanny valley.
That's your personal business, but we're going to need to talk about that monkey later.
It looks like Will Smith, it sounds like Will Smith, yet it's still an obviously digital Will Smith. Thankfully, this version of the Genie spends much of the movie in his human form, so we don't have to look at the blue mess for long.
You really don't know who I am. Genie, wishes, lamp, none of that ringing a bell.
Number 9. Pretty much everything. Fantastic Four.
This subject's suit controls her spectral flares and refractive visibility. With intense concentration, she's also developed the ability to render other objects invisible.
By 2015, it was time for a Fantastic Four reboot. Unfortunately, the film was widely lambasted and is regarded by some as one of the worst superhero movies ever made. Despite a budget of $120 million, Fantastic Four has incredibly shoddy visual effects to show for it. It looks worse than films made in the 90s.
Flame on. Okay, Johnny.
Fantastic Four's got a poorly rendered chimpanzee, terrible displays of superpowers, and appalling green screen work. Even the Baxter building itself is badly made. Every single one of these visual mishaps helped make the movie the butt of everyone's jokes. At the end of the day, the film was far from fantastic.
Wait, stop. Okay, let me explain.
Why?
I'm no good to you, to anyone. This is all my fault.
That we can agree on.
Number 8. De-aging Jeff Bridges. Tron Legacy.
Who are you? Dad.
Every time a blockbuster manages to de-age someone correctly, it proves to be a marvelous piece of movie magic. But when done poorly, it only makes the actor look like a waxy, floaty, and inhuman alternate version of themselves. The makers of the Tron Legacy attempted to make the 59-year-old Jeff Bridges 35 again to play the youthful villain Clue.
I'm not your father, Sam. But I'm very, very happy to see you.
Despite having access to the footage from the 1984 film Against All Odds as reference, it looks like filmmakers started from scratch. Even though Clue is supposed to be a digital antagonist, he still looks way too fake. We never think, wow, that's 35-year-old Jeff Bridges. All we want to do is delete this creation from our memories.
The key to the next frontier is finally in our possession!
Number 7. Renesmee. The Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn, Part 2. Even the most ardent Twilight lovers have to admit that the infant Renesmee scene was rocky.
You look amazing, Bella.
Someone's been waiting to meet you.
When Bella comes face to face with her baby for the first time, it's supposed to be a tender scene, but we can't help bursting out into laughter. Nothing about that CGI baby looks realistic. For a moment, we wondered if the actress had been briefly trapped inside of a video game cutscene. We get that the filmmakers intended for Renesmee to look a little unnatural owing to her supernatural origins. So they decided to forego a real baby in favor of a CGI creation. But their misguided approach turned the entire scene into a joke.
All right, that's enough experimenting for one day.
Jacob, she's doing great.
Yeah, let's not push it though.
Number 6. Wall Freddy. A Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's music to my ears.
I want to wake up!
Practical effects don't always look better than CGI. However, in this specific case, the practical version wins with ease. Both Nightmare on Elm Street films feature a scene in which Freddy comes out of the wall and hovers over a teen. It looked great in the original film. However, it's largely ineffective in the remake. In the original, it looks like a person is actually coming out of the wall. The remake looks like the wall suddenly turned into an artificial creation and sprouted a face. While the 2010s remake had many issues, its over-reliance on CGI might have been what really made it a nightmare to watch.
Hey, Gwen. Nightmare's over.
Number 5. Steppenwolf, Justice League.
At last, you call me home.
You will not like your welcome.
Despite coming out 5 years after Marvel's first superhero team-up film, the effects of 2017's Justice League are sufficiently worse. This film had a notoriously difficult production that resulted in some truly shoddy CGI. Steppenwolf in particular looks terrible. He's overly digitized and not in the least bit realistic.
Praise to the mother of horrors.
Whenever he's around, it's hard to feel as if he's an actual physical presence among the other characters. He's always just kind of floating there as a too apparent VFX creation interacting with human actors. For a movie that cost $300 million, this is some amateur effects work. It's impossible to take him seriously as the big bad.
I am the end of worlds. Who are you to defy?
Number 4. The Green Lantern. Green Lantern.
Ah, green! Wow.
I know, right?
This movie was a huge swing and a miss for DC. It's a shame because Ryan Reynolds is so effortless as the titular superhero. The poor CGI was one of the biggest criticisms levied against this movie. From the manufactured environments all the way down to Green Lantern's suit, everything looks embarrassingly fake.
What the hell is with that mask?
Came with the outfit. Cool, huh?
Although Reynolds initially defended his computerized suit, standing up for it was a lost cause. Everything about it looks third-rate, particularly the virtual mask that is poorly superimposed over Reynolds' face. Maybe it makes the suit look more alien, as Reynolds suggests, but in this case, alien means obviously fake.
Have you concluded admiring yourself?
Yeah.
Number 3. Bird Attack. Birdemic Shock and Terror. The internet can't get enough of Birdemic.
Open the door.
Regarded as one of the worst movies of all time. It was made by James Wen and self-financed for less than $10,000. So we weren't looking for Avatar-level effects.
Let's go!
But Birdemic still managed to soar far below our basement-level expectations. The bird attack sequences have become widely known and notorious throughout the internet for their exceptionally poor quality. It always looks like one picture of a bird was taken off the internet, crudely cut and pasted as many times as needed, and then badly animated. The only thing scary about these birds is how bad they look. Number 2. The Thing. The Thing. The original Thing contains some of the greatest practical effects work ever seen on film. Unfortunately, the prequel failed to recapture the magic of the classic by losing itself in some truly dreadful CGI. While the concept of The Thing is great, every scene involving the creature looks terrible. The lackluster visual effects are both poorly lit and lacking in detail. Our brains are never tricked into being scared or repulsed because the CGI is so seemingly obvious. We are very aware that we are watching a digital creation instead of a grotesque monster. Honestly, it's baffling that the original 1980s film creation runs circles around what they made in 2011. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Cats. Cats. Cats will probably go down in history as one of the most woefully misguided products from one of the biggest movie studios in the world.
When jellicles ask, because jellicles dare, who will it be?
When the process started, the filmmakers could have gone the practical route and just had actors in catsuits. Instead, they pushed visual effects artists to work under tight constraints to produce embarrassing abominations. These are monsters, not cats.
Their behavior's not good, and their manners not nice.
Rendering digital cat bodies around human faces was an absolutely ghastly way to go about bringing them all to life. And the visual effects artists even left details like Judi Dench's wedding ring in the final cut. Even from the very first trailer, we knew that something very wrong had occurred. Post-release, these cats will always be the stuff of internet infamy.
I can smile at the old days. I was beautiful then.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.